Good morning, not evening, not night. Good morning, folks, here from Virginia. We got Keith in Louisiana. We got Tim in Ohio. We got Brian, Kansas, Missouri. We got him down in Missouri. And we got NFL Week 18. I say all along, Week 18 and Week 1 are one and the same because you don't know what the hell you're getting. You don't know who's playing, and you have no idea of what's happening to you. We do know this much. Week 17 did carry a lot. Against the spread, Keith got 9 right. Michael, not here, he got 10 right. Rob and Harris got 11 right. We're on a trend, folks. Tim got 12 right. And my friend Brian, 13-3 against the spread this week. So he got it done this week. Over, under.
You're pointing the wrong way, Tim.
In StreamYard, I'm pointing the right way. But
in StreamYard, yeah, but not you got to point the opposite way to go. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. How about this one? Over, unders. Keith and Tim with 12 this week. Harris and Rob with 10. Brian with 9 and Mike with 7.
Oh,
our lock's pretty simple. If you went along with us last week, you made money. We went 6-0, so nobody missed on that one. Let's go back and just look at last night's football game.
Let's talk a little bit about our straight ups, if you could.
Okay, go for it.
I was 14-2, and Tim was also 14-2 last week. And then everybody else was 11-5. Keith was 10-6. For the year, one of us has hit 70%, which is pretty good.
Is that you?
That's me. 170 and 72. Harris is 168 and 74. He's 2 games behind me, and we got a crazy week coming up, so I have no idea how this is going to finish.
And I'll have to get those scores from Harris. Now, also, folks, let's also get some sadder news out there. Bob Bryant, his son, passed away from an automobile accident just a few days prior to Christmas. So, Bob, we're thinking about you. Harris Jessup. Harris Jessup has lived in the hospital in the last few days. He's been dehydrated. He's feeling rotten. He's feeling terrible. His stomach's messed up. He's been contacting me. He's able to drive. He's able to take himself to the doctor and stuff, but he is not feeling real super right now. So do have those guys in your prayers as well. Let's go. Let's just talk about last night real quick.
Another tragedy is Mike isn't here at the moment to sing to anybody, and so
singing only happens on Christmas. We don't sing after that.
Well, he sometimes will break out.
He sometimes
do a Jerry song.
I don't sing after Christmas.
Yeah. Last night, Penn State 31, Boise State 14. Penn State did cover. Brian, Harris, Keith, and Rob all went with Penn State. The under with Tim. Everybody but Brian. Brian went with the over. Everybody else went with the under. 53.5. That's what happened there. 3 games today, starting at 1 p.m. Eastern time. So about an hour, 12 minutes from now, we'll get started on that. We're going to try to have you out of here before that. Keith, let's start you up. Let's go for this Saturday afternoon game. The Browns at the Ravens. You're going to hear me right. 17.5 point favorites this week are the Ravens at home. And look, to be favored by 17.5, you would think the total would be 60. Oh, no. How about 41.5 is a total? So this is absolutely thinking this is going to be a bonkers game. Keith, 17.5, 41.5.
Offense.
Well, have you seen what they've done the last 3 weeks?
Scoring more for the other team.
Somewhat, yeah.
Not sure the Browns defense will be at least competitive for a while, but this probably is a mismatch. Do you think the Browns coach is gone after this weekend, or
Stefanski, if he's not, he's been a puppet anyway.
Well,
I don't know. Tim would know more about it than we would.
Well, from what I understand, him and Watson are supposed to be back for next season.
Okay. I just don't.
So that's not exactly peanut butter and jelly as a package. That's kind of like peanut butter and crap as a package. So I don't know how you want to put that one, but I mean, yeah, Stefanski, I don't think it's a bad coach. I just think his decisions making. He's been limited.
How motivated that team is going to be to take the field against Baltimore.
Yep, I got you.
I'm going to take the Ravens.
17.5.
41-10.
41-10. That is 51 points. Keith will take the Ravens, and he will go over. We're going to Brian.
Yeah, Baltimore 17.5-point favorites. It might take Cleveland 3 weeks to score 17.5 points. They've only scored 16 the last 3 weeks. So I'm definitely on Baltimore. I got Baltimore 30-20. Lamar is still after an MVP. Their defense, by the way, since week 11, has led the NFL in points allowed. They've shored up the defense. 30-20.
30-20. So you'll take the Browns. So you'll take the Browns in the points in.
Yeah, this last game of the year, people are playing for their jobs.
Yep,
That's
I got
kind
you.
of what I was thinking there.
Well, there is one thing that the Ravens are playing for, and that's the division championship to punch it down. And the Browns haven't scored an offensive touchdown since they played the Chiefs. I got the Ravens 30 and the Browns 9.
30-9. So
have you heard they're going back to Jameis Winston this week?
No, it's either going to be Thompson Robinson or Zappy.
And 30-9.
Yeah.
Only a point difference. I think they're worth the extra point there, if you want to call it that. I will take the Ravens. I will go under the total 17.5. They will cover it as well. We're going to Brian. Saturday night's game. Now we're on the premise that Baltimore has won this game. The Bengals are a 2.5-point favorite in this ball game at Pittsburgh. 48 and a hook. Have at it, Brian.
All right, Baltimore. If Baltimore wins against Cleveland, that will affect Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh will likely rest their starters. Cincinnati needs a Kansas City victory and a Miami loss in order to make the playoffs, but they're still got a slight chance to get in the playoffs. So they'll be playing. Pittsburgh, lately, there's some cracks of dissension in the locker room. There's people talking about, one guy saying if there's 10 of us on the defense that are pulling one direction, we got one pulling the other direction. That's not good. So Tomlin's got his work cut out to get that going. It's supposed to be 24 degrees and snow in Pittsburgh, but I'm picking Cincinnati 25-21. If Baltimore loses, Pittsburgh's going to try, but otherwise it's going to be a blowout, I think.
Brian goes Bengals and the under. Tim.
Yeah, actually, I mean, Pittsburgh's not looked the greatest the last couple of weeks.
They've dropped 3 in a row.
But consider who they played. They played 3 really good teams.
Really good teams.
All right, Mike. We're good, Mike.
All right. I got this being a closer game. I got Cincinnati 31, Pittsburgh 30.
31-30. So he'll actually take the Steelers, Tim will, and go over the total here. Yeah, you know what? I got a feeling Russ probably won't dress for this game. They definitely need running back help as far as they need to get better. They really do. TJ Watt probably should not step on the field this week as well. Yeah, if you don't have to play Pittsburgh at their utter best, it's a totally different team. Cincinnati's going to squeak by, even with a depleted Steeler roster. I still think they just squeak by here. 27-24, they cover, and we'll go over the total, but just barely. Keith.
Yeah, I could go anywhere from 24 to 23 or 31 to 20. I'm thinking 31-20 Bengals.
31-20 Bengals. So Keith, he likes them to win pretty comfortable, and he will go over the total. Let's go to the 1 p.m. games on Sunday now. Most of these have little or no effect of the playoffs, maybe a little bit, but very little. We're going to start with Tim. The Texans, the Titans. The Titans are 4.5-point favorites in this ball game, and 38.5 is the total. Have at it, Tim.
And the reason that is because Houston is locked in the 4th seed and cannot go anywhere, so they think they may be resting some people. Well, I agree Tennessee has played at least a little bit better the last couple weeks. I still think that maybe Houston has something to prove. I'll take Houston 21, Tennessee 17.
21-17. That is 38. So Tim just does go Texans and the under here. Yeah, I think Texans are the better team here. I just think they are. I think they're going to prove it this week. There's a good chance Stroud may not play, but I think that could help them. I think there may be a better team if Stroud may not play. 22-14. That's 36 all day long. I'm taking the Texans to upset the Titans. I just think so. I'm going under the total. I just don't think I don't have enough confidence in the Titans quarterback here in this spot. Texans defense, they're not playing for much, but we'll see what happens there. Keith.
Yeah, Mills would be the quarterback if Stroud doesn't play. I think the Texans need to
I don't think they can move up.
Yeah, I think the Texans, though, in order to go into the playoffs with their best chance, need to play their best going into the playoffs. I think they need to play all out this week. So I'm going to say 27-13, Houston.
27-13. That's 40 points. Keith will go with the over and take the Texans. Brian, have at it.
I agree with you here. I don't think Houston wants to go limping into the playoffs. They've not been playing well. They need a get right game in the worst way. Tennessee, if you'd taken them all year long against the spread, you would have won 14 times. They're 2-14 against the spread. They're wearing their vintage Oiler uniforms in this game, but it's not going to be vintage Oiler game. It's going to be Houston 30 and Tennessee 16.
All right. So Brian will take the Texans and go over the total. Comes to me now. The Carolina Panthers, much improved over let's say the last 6 weeks. They've really improved over the first 10. They go into Atlanta to play the Falcons. A whole new look team now with that quarterback.
Yeah.
Falcons are 7.5-point favorites, and they're playing for something here.
Yep.
It's an early game. If they win and Tampa loses, then the Falcons will be in the playoffs. Trust me, we're going to see the best of this kid this week. The kid that came from Washington, lefty. He's got a good arm on him. He's got a good head on his shoulders, too. I think now he's got himself a quarterback job. 7.5 is not going to be a problem here. Falcons 33, Panthers 20. That might be nice to the Panthers, giving them 20. So I'm going to go Falcons, and I'm going to go over the total. Keith.
Yeah, Penix was the quarterback out of this last draft that I was highest on coming out, actually. I think he's going to be really good. And when people were saying, after signing Cousins, why did they draft Penix? I thought, well, because they're smart. They know that Cousins is just a short-term answer, and this is their future. And I don't know how he's going to play this week. I mean, he's just got a couple starts here late in the year, but I think he'll be good because he was impressive against Washington.
First home start.
Outside of that one interception I saw that he threw, I mean, he played pretty well. Very decisive, gets rid of the ball quick. I like the Falcons to win fairly comfortably here. I'll say 28-16. Koo might try a couple field goals, but he'll probably miss them when he does.
28-16, is that 44?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Happy New Year, Larry.
Falcons.
Happy New Year.
Michael.
Happy New Year, Larry Harris.
What's up there?
Not much. Just
Happy New Year, Philip.
I was just watching the press
How about
conference
it, Brian?
in New Orleans.
Okay. Chuba Hubbard will be out for Carolina, but yeah, we got two young quarterbacks. Michael Penix has given a rebirth in Atlanta, and it looks like Bryce Young has earned a third year to work in Carolina. Still Carolina without Chuba Hubbard and the league's worst defense. I don't give them much of a chance. Highly motivated Atlanta. Last time Atlanta played Carolina, they ran the ball over 198 yards. They'll probably do that again as well. So here we go. I got Atlanta 32, Carolina 18.
32-18. Brian goes Falcons and goes over the total. Tim.
I'm kind of agreeing with everybody on how much Carolina is going to be getting. I'm not so sure that maybe Penix might be a little bit pumped up and maybe might force some things. Who knows? Maybe Carolina might get a couple turnovers. I still have Atlanta winning the game, just not covering. I'll say Atlanta 24, Carolina 20.
24-20. That's 44. So Tim will take the Panthers and the points, and he'll go under the total. Welcome, Mike. How you doing today, my friend?
Oh, all right. Like I said, I was just watching the press conference for New Orleans this morning.
Did you hear anything more about the Sugar Bowl?
Yes, it's very sad right now. 10 dead, 30 injured.
Any update on
the game is going on?
10.
Yeah, the game will be played. Yep, the game will be played.
The game's still on. The game is still on, even though it was close.
Go for it, Mike. Panthers, Falcons.
We're doing. You got the NFC South. Michael Penix, what a wonderful game he played last week, and the Falcons need this game, so they're gonna run. They're gonna run, and they're gonna beat up on the Panthers. They're gonna beat them like 28-13.
28-13. That is 40-41. So Mike takes Falcons and goes under. Mike, we got the Texans at the Titans.
I see the AFC Central, right?
Texans at Titans. This is AFC South.
Yeah.
4.5 points for the Titans in this ball game at home against the Texans. 38.5. Have at it.
Does it really mean anything? No. Are the Titans that good? No. Texans will win 27-20.
27-20, 47 points. Mike goes with Texans and the over. Bengals and Steelers, my friend.
Yeah,
Bengals.
I was listening to you guys talk about that game.
Bengals two and a half. Go for it.
I have a stat for you. There was only one underdog that won last week. Did you know that?
I did
There
not
was
know
only
that.
one underdog who won last week. And-
Giants.
Yeah, that's right.
Raiders.
That's right. Anyway,
Are they
Giants.
still number one?
Jaguar. Oh no. Giants, Raiders. It might be the only two. Yeah, they are the only two. Giants and Raiders, bro.
yeah, the only teams that were the underdogs that won last week. So Russell probably isn't going to play. I don't know if Joe's going to play. Doesn't matter.
Joe has to play.
Huh?
This means
Oh,
something.
Joe's got to play. They're playing for the playoffs. Bengals can make the playoffs. Baby.
Then Joe's going to have another fun game. 31-10 Cincinnati.
Wow.
Ooh.
31-10. That is 41, Mike. Like the Bengals and the under. Let's go to the other one. Browns, Ravens. Ravens 17.5-point favorites.
17.5 points. Yeah, that sounds like a nice number. I think they're gonna run up. I think they're gonna run up the score early, and they'll probably bench a lot of players in the second half. And the Ravens will probably win 34-0.
34-0. Mike takes the Ravens, and he will go under the total. Okay, Mike, we'll start with you here.
Is
Another
that because
1
you
o'clock
think the Ravens defense is that good, or the Browns just
Huh?
not that good? I was
I'm
wondering
sorry?
do you think it's because
He
the
said- he
Ravens
said-
are that good, or
He
the
said, are
Browns
the
not?
Ravens that good or the Browns that bad?
Oh, the Browns are that bad.
Oh, okay.
Chubb ain't playing. They're probably not. They're probably going to be playing. They're probably playing for the coach's job. The coach will probably get fired after the game.
Commanders, Mike, 3-point favorites going to Dallas this week.
Oh, let Washington.
44 is the total, so that's the only total we got to watch this week. The rest of them are half
Damn.
points. Have at it, Michael.
Man, I haven't heard anything from you know who this week. From Gee. I hope they embarrass themselves again on national television. Redskins in a rout, 27-10.
27-10, 37 points. And Mike goes with Commanders/Redskins and the under.
That's right.
Wow, I tell you what, this one's tough for me to pick. I almost went with Dallas on this one because the two players that affect Washington more than anybody is Overshown and number 11.
Parsons.
Parsons.
Man,
They
can cry baby.
And the last thing Washington wants, as much as they would love not to play Philly, they need to win this ballgame, yes. But the last thing they need to do is go in with a quarterback that's limping into the playoffs. That is not what they want. That being said, I'm going with Washington to win this game. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. 29-24. Looks like Cooper Rush will not start. Looks like he's not starting this week. It looks like he's going to let the third-string guy.
Trey Lance.
Looks like Trey Lance is going to get to start, but he's going to be his backup.
No, you
So
know
we'll
what's
see.
going to happen? Troy Aikman will get called. Troy Aikman will get called from the booth and tell him to start. That's what's going to happen.
So I will take Commanders, and I will go over the total. We'll go with Keith. Go for it, bro.
Oh, I'll take the Commanders to win 23-15.
23-15, 38 points. Keith will go Commanders, and he'll go under the total. We'll go to Brian.
Yeah, Dan Quinn's going to be coaching against his former team, and they got some momentum going, and they want to keep that going into the playoffs. Dallas yesterday released Zeke Elliott, so his days in Dallas are done.
Way up in the middle of the year.
Dallas just failed to show up last week, and they've lost 4 straight times to Washington. I got Washington winning 28-17.
Well, they beat
28-17
Washington earlier this
is
year.
45 all day. Brian will take Commanders. He will go over the total. We'll go to Tim.
Yeah, I don't see Dallas having anything to play for. Plus, they're at home, which they've not done well at this year. Daniels is going to put a nice little capper on his year and essentially make the Green Bay Chicago result moot. I got Washington 31, Dallas 20.
31-20. Tim will go with the Commanders and go over the total. Next 1 o'clock game will just come back to me, I guess. We got the Jacksonville Jaguars heading to Indianapolis to play the Colts. Colts are 5.5-point favorites. Richardson will not play in this game. We already know that. But we also know, well, it's also looking like what's his name's out too.
Lawrence?
Lawrence is out.
Lawrence
Lawrence is
is
out.
done for the season.
Yeah. But it looks like Mac Jones will play. Mac Jones, and he played well for him last week. I don't understand this line, really. I mean, are the Colts a better team with both teams' no quarterback? Yeah. But if you put Mac Jones behind center in Jacksonville, really, I mean, I just think Colts are in some trouble here. I really do. 5.5, I'll take those points. I don't need them. 23-21. I'm taking the Jags. I'll go on the island here, and I will go under the total of 45.5. So I'll take Jags and under. I'll take the island. Take it, Keith.
Jacksonville will win the game also.
Yes, 23-21. Yeah,
Straight running back, is he healthy?
Yeah, he should be.
Jonathan Taylor's
Taylor.
healthy.
Taylor's probable. Taylor's probable.
That might be the decider there. Then I'll go with the Colts to win this one.
5.5.
Yeah, 24-13.
24-13. 37. Keith takes Colts, and he will go under the total. Brian, have at it.
I hate picking this game. It looks like Jacksonville is trying to play for Doug Peterson. Jones and even Flacco are trying to play for 2025. I think they're kind of thinking about next year. Flacco still wants to play. So either one could have a good game. There are some questions going around Indiana's what-to among their players. McAfee's kind of been criticized for questioning that. Could be some truth to that. They have not been playing well. I'm going to go with Jacksonville 25-21.
25-21, 46 points. And Brian just goes over by a half point. Okay. Tim.
Even with all the injuries, Flacco is still a better quarterback, in my opinion, over Mac Jones. He's 38, 39 years old. The game's in Indianapolis, and the Colts fans want to send their fans home happy for the year, even with inconsistent quarterback play and just malaise overall. I'll say the Colts 30, Jacksonville 17.
30, 17, 47. Tim will take the Colts, and he'll go over the total. And now Mike gets to break the tie.
Mike gets to break the tie. Joe Flacco, this is your last game as a professional quarterback. I don't care if he's going to want to come back. He's going to get cut by the team that wants him. It's upset time. Jacksonville, 24. The Flacco Colts, 21. Jonathan Taylor with a 100-yard game rushing, though.
So Mike takes Jacksonville, and he'll go under the total by a half point. We're going to Keith now. We got the Buffalo Bills, who are actually playing for nothing this week. And they're going to the New England Patriots, who may be playing for their coach's job if they still respect their coach. The Bills are a 2.5-point favorite, 38.5. Keith.
I mean, this is one of those games you just don't know what you're going to get. I think the Bills probably will still win by more than a score. Probably won't be very high scoring. Before I predict that, though, I heard that the Flacco's expected to be a starter for a team that's going to be drafting a quarterback next year.
Oh.
And so far, the front runner is the Giants. So he might be somebody that Mike's cheering for next year. That'd be kind of interesting.
Don't say that, Keith. Don't say that, Keith. I think I'm going to be sick.
Unless they can get Cutlets back on board.
Yeah.
But anyway,
that's terrible. That's like sticking a knife in the back, you know.
Patriots. Not good enough. Bills. God, how many points are going to be in this game? Not much. 23-14.
23-14.
And I just literally pulled that score out of my butt.
37.
You don't know.
Keith will take your Bills, and he will go under the total. Brian.
Well, Buffalo starters are going to get a brief cameo, and then they're going to get them out quick. New England, they got booed and jeered on the last nationally televised game where they laid an egg, and one more loss gets them the top pick. But who knows how teams approach that? Vegas, they kind of blown up their draft by winning a couple of games. I think that Mike Vrabel is probably the promised prince to be the next coach at New England, is my guess. So Mayo is coaching for his job. Buffalo Stars going to be out. Somehow I'm going to pick New England 21-18.
21-18, you taking New England.
Yeah.
39 points. So Brian takes the Patriots, and not only that, he's going over the total of 38.5.
Yeah, Buffalo's stuck in the number 2 spot. It's not, they're not playing for playoff seeding. They just want to get to the playoffs healthy.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, and geez, I mean, Drake Mays has played well himself, but I still think that maybe the Buffalo backups still are better than the Patriots starters. So I'll go Buffalo 23, New England 10.
23-10, 33. Tim goes Bills and the under. Mike.
Yeah, this is going to be like a big party for all those fans. Don't forget, they're not going to be playing they're not playing for anything. They are playing for something. They want people to go buy season tickets for that new stadium across the street. So that's why they're going to play their starters maybe.
They're playing in New England, Mike.
It don't matter.
Yeah,
all these Bills fans are going to make the trek. It's far enough to go to New England. I don't care. And Mayo is going to – the only thing you're going to see Mayo is on bread. Buffalo 31, New England 7.
31-7. That is 38. Mike takes Bills, and he's going to go under the total by a half point.
What kind of bread? Italian bread? French bread?
No, pumpernickel.
Okay.
We know the Patriots' defense is good. We know that. But I think there's a good chance Drake May's not going to play this entire game either. Why would you? Why wouldn't you play your bench players as well? Then it comes down to who really wants to win this game worse. And probably the Bills' backups have some reason to want to play. 20-17. for no reason at all. I'm taking the Bills in this ball game. I'll go under the total. All right. We're going to Brian. The Bears. They're going to take on the Packers. Packers have a reason to play in this game. They're playing at the same time Washington does. Washington loses, and the Packers win. The Packers will be the number 6 seed. And what happens here? The Packers are 9.5-point favorites at home, 40.5. Have at it, Brian.
I think Green Bay has a reason to win, so I think they're going to try to win. They are 0-5 against the most elite teams in the league, but they've been very close. And if they get Josh Jacobs going in the playoffs and keep Jordan Love from throwing a critical interception like in a red zone or something, they could beat a playoff team. They could make a little bit of a run, I think, Green Bay could. They're young, hungry. Chicago, it's a total lame duck situation here. Green Bay 21, Chicago 10.
21-10, 31 points. So Brian takes Packers. He'll go under the total. Tim.
I actually just adjusted my score because I did remember. I forgot that Green Bay did have something to play for. I think that Chicago needs to put their best foot forward. They don't want to go 0 for the last half of the season, or at least.
If you had 10 straight games, they've lost. Yeah.
Oh boy, wow, that's almost the last 2/3 of the season. But I think it's going to happen. I'll say Green Bay 28, Chicago 20.
28-20. How about 48 points? And he'll take the Bears because of 9.5 points. So you don't think they're going to cover?
Sorry.
9.5. Tim.
It's 28-20, so that's 8 points.
Yep. So he'll take the Bears and he'll take the over. Michael.
Yes. The Bears. The losers. I'll still say it again. I'll say what I said last week. The Bears have to be careful about picking their new coach. They got to get someone to help Caleb out. Caleb has been beaten up like a rag doll. Doesn't matter. Josh Jacobs is going to have a game. 175 yards rushing. Green Bay 30, the Bears 10.
You think Pete Carroll might be a possibility for that Chicago job?
I would consider it.
Who is it?
I don't know.
Pete Carroll.
Your favorite head coach.
That whole thing is a big story.
I think a lot of people saying he's going to be the coach.
Now,
If I'm Chicago, I would rather go a different direction. That's just me. I don't want Vrabel. I don't want a whole lot of these recruits. I don't want them. Do what, Keith?
Ben Johnson's the one that's mentioned the most.
I think
And I don't know enough about Ben Johnson to know whether to say yes or no to him. But if he's not under one of the tutelages of one of these coaches, I would say yes even quicker. Shanahan's, they're not proven to be anything no more. I think you just got to know the game of football. And I think you got to have a common sense knowledge as to how to use a clock and stuff like that. It's just, Washington's coach don't know how to use a clock. We had somebody who know how to use the clock since Joe Gibbs. It's just sad, but that's the damn truth. Our coach is better than what we had.
Well, we might have had somebody who knew how to use the clock, but they didn't know anything else, so they never got a chance.
Well, the fact is, though, he's not. I mean, he's definitely not an offensive guru either. So I'm just saying. He's
a defensive
let's
guy.
go back to the Packers Bears. This is not
30-10. Green Bay.
30-10. Yeah, Mike, I got you. 34-3. 34-3. I don't see the Bears scoring a touchdown in this game. 34-3. I'll take the Pack, and I'll go under the total. Yeah, I think it's going to be a ruination here. Keith, have at it.
Yeah, I have 31-6. Is what I was saying. I mean, I could see the Bears even getting shut out. Sounds of it, Williams might not play. And my dad was telling me that this morning. He's hearing that they might not start Williams at quarterback. And DJ Moore supposedly is talking like he doesn't want to play.
DJ Moore's talked to the ownership group to see if maybe he could get excused from playing this week.
Yeah.
And
the other thing
I'll play that.
LaFleur, I think he's kind of the personality type playing against the Bears, or he's going to want to kind of embarrass them, rub it in their face, run up the score, even if it doesn't mean anything. I think he's the kind of guy that'll do that. So I think 31-6.
All right. We'll go to Tim. The next 1 o'clock game presents the Giants, otherwise known as the Giants.
My team.
They're going to play the Eagles, and they're going to take on the Eagles' number 3rd string quarterback. And the Eagles are still 3.5-point favorites with their 3rd string quarterback. 38.5. Tim, have added.
By the way, granted, I don't know what got into them, but I saw that kickoff return for touchdown that the Giants had, and that guy looked like he was shot out of a damn cannon.
Yeah.
He hit that hole, and he went and he knew where he was going. Yeah, I think they'll put in way more effort than Dallas did. I don't know if I'll be on the island, but I don't really care. Giants 24, Eagles 19.
24-19. That's 43 points. So Tim is Giants, and he's going over the total. Michael.
The question is, what are they going to? Are the offensive linemen? Or is the team going to let Saquon play and go for the record? My answer would be yes, they should. Barkley has had a wonderful season. All us Giant fans are crying in our milk or soda or beer or whatever. Barkley's going to break the record. Drew Lock that was amazing. I'd never seen the Giants score 42 points in a game. Never. That was so wild. It doesn't matter. They scored 42 last week. They'll score
45.
Doesn't matter. They'll score maybe 7. Eagles in a rout, 28-7.
28-7, 35 points.
Yeah.
So Mike takes Eagles, and he's going to go under the total. Yeah. Look, I don't think it much matters which Eagles quarterback starts.
Yeah.
You still got to play the 5 in front and the 5 or 4 or 5 on the defensive side. And the Giants don't line up good against this team. They do not have a chance in hell. I could go in there and quarterback Philadelphia this week and have as good a chance as anybody else would for the Giants. 38-10. This is not going to be a good game at all. And they're resting their players. They're still going to blow this team out of the water. 38-10, I will take Eagles, and I will go over that total easily. Keith.
Yeah, the Eagles coach is another one with the personality type of thing I think might be on display here. Sirianni, is that his name?
Yeah.
Nick Sirianni.
I think he's going to probably kind of try to torture the Giants by doing some things to kind of let them in, but want to beat them, and it'll kind of go back and forth. And I think the Eagles will find a way to win because I don't think Sirianni will want to let his guys lose. 19-17.
19-17. So he will take the Giants there in the points. That's 36. So Keith will take Giants and the under. We go to Brian. Break your tie.
I've got their head coach Sirianni one step above teenager. Last week it was a fight with Zach Ertz after the game. Had to be broke up by Big Dom. The guy just refuses to grow up. McKee is going to be probably the quarterback. Pickett's got broken rib. Played through that broken rib last week. Hurts is still out. I do think they're going to try to get Saquon the record because the head coach did go to talk to the owner about it, and that's kind of a CYB move. You know, if why would he talk to the owner if he's not playing any place, Saquon? So I think he wants to cover himself by letting Saquon play and try to get that record. Saquon sprains an ankle, gets hurt. There's going to be hell to catch for sure. So that's why he was talking to the owner. I think the Eagles will start out with some of their starters playing, but they're going to take them out, and it could get weird after that. New York was amazing last week. Drew Lock accounted for 5 touchdown passes. You guys have heard me. I've been saying all year that Drew Lock was their best quarterback, and they weren't giving him a chance. I don't know what they're going to do going forward next year about quarterback, but Luck is better than people think. Let's see. I got Philadelphia pulling this out, but I don't see a blowout, 24-17.
24.
You and I are kind of on the same page here. I could see the Eagles kind of pulling some guys out and putting some guys back in, pulling off.
It's going to get weird.
Try to stay ahead, just to try to get a win.
Rob, before you continue, hold on. By the way, Michael's not being too facetious for saying that he hasn't seen them score that many points. I'm only seeing about 2 or 3 times that they scored in the 50s since, we got one against the Packers in 86, and then you got one against the Saints in 2012, and then, of course, that 52-49 game against the Saints in 2015. So he's not being facetious.
Yeah, I remember that game.
I heard somebody in media say this week that the Eagles should let Big Dom coach this game.
All right,
Michael.
Yeah.
The last of the 1 o'clock games. The Saints traveling to Tampa to play the Buccaneers. Buccaneers, 14-point favorites in this ball game. 43.5. Have at it, Michael.
Well, things kind of changed now because of what happened today. I think the Saints are going to come in with heavy hearts, and they're really going to play for all those people. And I was going to say Tampa Bay in a rout, and I'm like, no, Mayfield probably won't play much.
No, he'll play the whole game,
if at all. And
no, he's playing because they have to.
They're playing for a playoff spot.
Yeah, I know, but now
Tampa's,
the Saints got something to really. They're gonna have some kind of momentum. I don't know if Tampa's even gonna win the game, but I'm gonna have them win the game, and I'm gonna have them win by a score of 28-27. That's too many points.
28-27. Wow. How about
That's too many points to give up.
55? So Mike's got the Saints and the over, easily over. Look, if the Bucs are going to play, this is going to be the week they play, man. I'll tell you what, they're going to have everybody on guard here. I'm giving the Saints 13 just being nice this week. I really think this could be a shutout. 31-13. That's 44 points. So that is just over the 4, and it covered the 14 easy. I will take Bucs, and I will go over the total. Keith.
I'm looking at the Saints point totals. Going backwards, 10-0, 19, 14, 14. They got 35 somehow against the Browns. 20, 22-8, 10, 27-13. They don't get a lot of
It's
points.
because Brownie wasn't there.
Unless you watch the first 2 weeks where they got 95 points.
Yeah, the first couple of weeks. Then on the other side,
That's
Tampa
been
Bay,
a lifetime ago.
yeah, Tampa Bay, they had a big win. Week before that, I expected them to play really well, and they didn't. So this week, the Saints, I just think, have checked out. I mean, their interim coach has gotten more out of them than what Allen was getting, but I think Tampa Bay will pull this one out 27-10. The Saints, I don't even know who's starting for quarterback. Is it still Rattler?
Yes.
Yeah. So
How about it,
All right,
Brian?
last week, Tampa's Baker Mayfield had 5 touchdowns that he accounted for. They could still get a home playoff game if there are upsets in the wild card round. So they have a lot to play for. Tampa Bay does. Plus their battle with Atlanta in the division. The last time they played, they rolled up 594 yards against New Orleans, and New Orleans' defense has not gotten any better. They're atrocious. This thing in New Orleans that happened this morning is just heartbreaking. But New Orleans 2 weeks ago, they picked up a running back from the Chiefs, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who suffers from PTSD because when he was at LSU, his best friend was shot in a car that Clyde Edwards was in. And he has had PTSD issues since then, and especially this year. Now, he was a backup for us last year. He played well as a backup, and now New Orleans is giving him a chance. And now this happened in New Orleans. What's that going to mean for Clyde Edwards? It's just heartbreaking. I will take Tampa. I don't see New Orleans have much of a chance. 32-21.
32.
And 21 is that's too much. Make it 32-14.
32-14. That is 46. So Brian will take the Bucks then, and he will go with the over because 14 points. Tim, have at it, bud.
Like I said, I don't see how New Orleans stays in this game, especially since Tampa's got everything to play for. I don't see Mayfield throwing for 5 touchdowns. Maybe he gets 3, and maybe Mr. Irving gets a touchdown or 2, maybe 1 on the ground and 1 in the air. I got Tampa Bay 33, New Orleans 10.
33-10 is 43 points. So Tim will actually take the Bucks and go under by the half point. All right, coming back to me again. All right, let's take these 4 25 games on Sunday. We're going to start with the 49ers. Without Brock Purdy this week, they're a 1-point favorite going to Arizona to play the Cardinals. And I'm not sure Kyler Murray's playing. I have not checked that out.
I think Murray's playing. James Conner is very questionable.
Okay. All right. I think I'm gonna change my pick here. Yeah, I will. Yeah. Purdy's not playing, and they're playing on a crap field. Yeah. Let's change this. The wrong team's favored, and 49ers should not be favored on the garbage dump field. Yeah, the midget will probably score a couple times. 20-17 Cardinals upset, if you want to call it that. 37 points. I will take Cardinals, and I will go under the total. How about it, Keith?
I guess I haven't been tracking him, and maybe he's not even playing. What's Harrison's season been?
He's
You know what? He's played decent, but he's not played as a superstar.
A little bit disappointing, yeah.
Yeah, he's been a whole lot like a tight end at Atlanta.
Pitts, yeah.
But the tight end in Atlanta busted loose last week. This kid,
maybe this will be a game where he does something. I'll go with the Cardinals. I'll go with the Cardinals in this one. 34-13. The 49ers are just beat up, and I think they've pretty much thrown in the towel.
34-13. That's 47. Yeah. So Keith will take the Cardinals, and he'll go over by that half point. All right, we go to Brian.
Well, San Francisco definitely showed up against Detroit. They traded blows with Detroit until the 2 interceptions happened later in the game. So they tried. But I think it's going to be a bridge too far for them to win. I agree with you guys. I think Arizona's going to win this game 24-20.
24-20. That is 44.
I think you picked Tim's score.
Brian will take the Cardinals and go under. Tim.
Just to give Harrison stats, 57 catches, 822 yards, and 7 touchdowns, which would be fine if he was a number 3 receiver on a team.
He still makes it to 1,000 yards if he comes out big.
Yeah. So how many catches out of game? 4? 3?
3.
But 3.7.
Yeah.
3.5.
3.5.
Yeah. So that's really not what you're looking for from a number 1 pick.
Not nowadays.
You want 5 catches a game.
Oh, yeah,
now.
Yeah.
You want 5 catches. Yeah.
I just switched mine as well, and I think I'm going to adjust mine a little bit because yes, I did have 24-20, and I'm not going to have the same score. I'm going to go Arizona 26, San Francisco 20.
26-20. That is 46. That is a half point under the total, so he will go under the total. Mike, have at it. Tell us why the Niners are going to win.
I'll tell you why the Niners are going to win. Because these two teams got nothing to play for. They ain't got nothing to play for. Purdy's out. Dobbs is the quarter, is their starter? And
Yeah,
I know he has an arm.
Joshua Dobbs.
Yeah.
Joshua
Dobbs. I think these two teams, they're going to just play. They're just going to play. It's going to be like, it's like if a football team, if a team is winning 67-0, they're going to have what they call the running clock. This game will be over. This game probably will be over in a heartbeat. So give me the 49ers in a very simple game, 18-15.
18.
Also, do you think there will be offensive touchdowns, Michael?
1.
Okay.
One
version.
All right.
Remember, they're playing in an indoor stadium, and they can kick field goals, even though the field may be crappy. So is San Francisco's.
All right. We're going to Keith now. The Seahawks making a run to the Rams. The Rams, they've got a chance to move up in the playoff standings.
Mm-hmm.
They're 4 or 3 here. There's a chance to move up. But the Seahawks are a 1.5 favorite in LA.
Yeah.
39.5. Tell us why the Seahawks are going to win, Keith.
Well, I don't know how much. I mean, there might be some protection going on for the Rams with some of their talent, even though they might have something to play for. But Seattle's coming off that game in Chicago where, golly, could they looked any worse or more ugly against a team like the Bears? 6-3? I mean, the weather wasn't good. And that was Mike, does that qualify as West Coast? That's not East Coast, but it's Midwest.
No, it would be because they're going out. I don't do the East Coast, West Coast thing. No, because East Coast teams have an advantage because they have more time to rest.
Well, but it's not going to be cold. It's not going to be rainy.
No.
It's going to be comfortable on a carpet. I'm going to pick the Rams to pull it out, but I could see Seattle winning this if everybody's motivated to get another win for Seattle. Rams 23, Seahawks 20.
23-20, 43 points. Keith goes Rams, and he will go over the total. Have at it, Brian.
I've got in my notes that the Rams will rest players unless Tampa Bay loses. I don't think Tampa Bay is going to lose. They do what they could drop the fourth or third in the playoffs. They could drop the fourth. So, how bad you want to play for that one seed and risk your players? I think this is a hard game for me to pick for that reason. But Seattle, like you guys said, was so bad last week, man. The Rams 24, Seattle 17. I'm still picking them to win. But
41.
Oh, I thought you were going to pick Seattle. With
yeah, I'm not confident in this game, but
yeah, me either. This is one of the
under normal circumstances,
Brian takes the
they're better
Rams,
than
and he
Seattle
goes
for
over.
sure.
Yeah.
Tim.
Well, I mean, essentially, just moving up a seed means that you get one of the wild card teams. You're still playing at home, so I'm not really sure. But I mean, Seattle to me, having a 10-win season at least appeases the fan base a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, okay, we didn't win the division, but hey, we played hard till the end. And I think they'll get that 10th win.
Oh, yeah.
23.
Tim, I'm sorry. I did have Seattle written down to win, and you reminded me it's to get that 10-win season. So
Oh,
change my
You
pick to
want
Seattle.
you want to Seahawks?
Okay.
Yeah. I read dyslexia or whatever it is, but I do have Seattle written down as my pick.
So okay, so all right, just to make it on the record, then what's your score then?
It's 24-17. We'll stay with that. But Seattle.
Seahawks.
Sorry, Sam.
24-17 Seahawks. Okay.
Yeah, I
Keith,
agree with you. That's a big deal. They want to win that 10th game, I think.
Keith, are you sticking with the Rams?
Yeah.
All right. So Tim, what was your score, my friend?
27-23.
27-23. That's 50 points. And Tim goes with the Seahawks. And he's going to go over the total. Go for it, Michael.
The Rams need this, so they'll play whatever they need to play. I think the Seahawks checked out last week too. I really did. They played horribly last week. Their defense will probably keep them in the game, but I think the Rams will find a way to win. It's going to probably be close. I think it's going to be one of those LAR, the Rams 24, Seattle 20.
24-20. That is 44 points. So Mike will go with Rams and the over. You know what? I think this is going to be a really good game, man. I really do. Yeah, the Seahawks on the road. Hell, they've been playing better on the road than they have been at home this year. They play like shit at home sometimes this year. The Rams still have good position players. Will they start their Stafford or not? I think it could be game of the week. 29-28. I'm taking the Rams to win this ball game. I will go over the total here, but I won't be surprised if it goes the other way. But I'll take the Rams straight up in this game. I think they pull the upset. We go to Brian. We got the Miami Dolphins. Dolphins playing for something here. 2.5-point favorites going to Miami to play the Jets. This could be in some really bad weather. It could be some crappy weather coming up Sunday. 39.5 is the total. Have at it, Brian.
Just weather looks like 31 degrees, 17% chance of snow. Tua is very questionable. He's got a hip injury. But Tyler Huntley,
it looks like he may not play. Yeah, that's what they're saying.
Tyler Huntley played pretty well last week, though. 22 out of 26 with 225 yards. So, and usually Miami beats bad teams, but that below freezing weather, that's a problem for me. The Jets, Aaron Rodgers is looking for one more touchdown to give him his 500th touchdown pass for his career. and he probably wants to show out for next year because I think he still wants to play. I don't.
But not for the Jets.
Yeah, I don't think he should. I've got Miami winning this game. No, I take that back. I have the Jets winning this game, 21-17.
21-17, 38. You got the Jets winning. So Brian will play the Jets, and he will go under the total. Tim, have at it.
I got the complete opposite from you. I think that the Dolphins, they will most likely know their fate before this game starts because the Bengals play Saturday night, and then actually no, they won't because Denver plays the same time, so they will not know their fate.
No.
I think they will at least maybe force something to go on. Roger's looking for his 500th. Have to do it next year. 28-9 Dolphins.
28-9, 37 points. 10 says Jets, and he will go. I'm sorry, he takes the Dolphins and goes under the total. I'm sorry. 10 goes Dolphins under the total. Michael, have at it.
Hello, I'd like to make a call to Woody, please. Yeah, Woody, I got one thing to say. That's all I need to say. Bye.
Michael, are you pulling a little Carlito? You spit in the face of people who don't like to be cool?
Yes. Woody, you know, do you see Woody? He could be just as bad as you know who. He like stares at the air. Anyway, Tim, I'm on your side. If you listen to the calls on WFAN like I do, I just hear the magic word of Dolphins 31, Jets 10.
31-10. Mike goes Dolphins, and he goes over the total. You know what? I'm going the other way, man. I'll tell you what, it's cold weather. Tua's not playing.
Yeah, I know.
This team doesn't play it well in the cold. I think the Jets upset them. I think the Jets win this game. I'm not sure Rodgers is going to play a major role in it, but I think they're going to do it. 27-23. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I'll take the Jets in the upset, and I will go over the total. Keith.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Dolphins to sneak one out here, 20-17.
20-17. That's 37 points. Keith likes the Dolphins, and he will go under the total.
Attack suspect ID'd is Shamsuddin Jabbar. He had a assault rifle with optics and a suppressor on it.
Oh, they got him?
Yeah, well,
he's dead.
him.
Well,
They killed it. They killed it. All right, Tim, we got the Chargers. 5.5-point favorites this week. They are playing for something, I think, right here. They're playing for a chance, playoff positioning anyway, I think. Raiders, they go into the Raiders. Chargers, 5.5-point favorites. 41.5 have at it, 10.
Yeah, I think this is the swan song to one Antonio Pierce, who had such a great start, and then and like Shakespeare once said in one of his plays, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing.
English, please.
That is, trust me, for Shakespeare, that's about as English as it gets. No errors or woes or hoes or anything like that.
Those and hoes.
Throws and hoes.
30-12 for the Chargers.
30-12. You're going to take the Chargers.
Yep.
That is 42, so Tim will take Chargers. Actually go over the 41 and a hook. Mike will have at it.
Oh, is O'Connell playing again this week?
I think so.
Oh, my God. Well, Antonio, like I said, I loved you as a Giant, but unfortunately, you didn't have the roster to help you except for Brock Bowers, who's going to probably score a couple of scores for you. So there's your 14 for the Raiders. But there's one problem. You're playing the Chargers, and all they're going to do is run, run, run. Chargers 31, Raiders 14.
All right. Mike takes Chargers, and he will go over the total. Yeah, you know what? I think the Raiders are going to give themselves an effort here, but they come up short. 28-21. That's 49 points. Rob will take the Chargers and go over the total. Keith.
And I also saw they're saying 4 to 5 other suspects might have been involved in that somehow.
Are you watching the press
I
conference?
think the Chargers win this one fairly comfortably. 30-17.
30-17, 47 points. Keith takes Chargers, and he'll go over the total. Brian, have at it.
I think the Chargers head coach is a little bit like Andy Reid. He'll play anybody, anywhere, and they're going to try to win this game. If they win this game, then they get Houston as the 5 seed and will not have to go to Baltimore or Pittsburgh. So I think they will be plenty motivated to win. J.K. Dobbins is back. They're glad to have him back, and I agree with you guys. They're going to run the ball, run the ball, and run the ball. The Vegas Raiders, I also agree with you that I think this is Antonio Pierce's swan song. And I wonder if he's getting back at the ownership by winning a couple of games here and screwing up their 2025 draft. I mean, they were in contention for the first or second pick. And now if they win this game, they're even going to be out of the bottom 10. They'll get like a higher pick still yet.
12th pick. Be like
12th pick, yeah. So
We're
is
number
this-
4.
is this, yeah, and Antonio Pierce flipping off ownership? I don't know. I think the Chargers win this game. I got 24-17. Is that under?
24,
Yeah, that should be
17.
under,
Is that
yeah.
41? 41, yep. Brian will take Chargers and go under the total. All right, Michael, the last 425 game of the week. We got the
Yeah.
Chiefs going to the Broncos. Looks like Mahomes may not even travel with the team. I don't think Kelsey will probably dress. Jones probably won't dress. It's probably going to be a few of them that don't even dress for the team, for the Chiefs. Going to the Broncos. Broncos need this. They need this game. They're 9.5-point favorites. 38.5 is a total. Have at it, Mike.
Oh, the typical, the old AFC West matchup between the Broncos and the Chiefs. They've been battling each other for years and years and years. So why the heck are the Broncos 9.5-point favorites? Come on, guys. I know Patrick will be home with his new baby and everything. Travis will be dressed up in casual, he won't have a suit and tie on, but he'll be casual. No Taylor in this one, so it doesn't mean a thing. The Broncos, you're right. They need this game. Their offense is getting better. That's just. I love I like the way the Chiefs have been getting away with everything, point wise. They find ways to win. They're not going to find a way to win this one, but it's going to be real close. Broncos 27, Chiefs 24. This might be an overtime game.
27-24, 51 points. He will take the Chiefs. Mike will take the Chiefs on that Chiefs side and go over the total. Yeah, 9.5's a joke. 9.5's a damn joke. You got a team that's lost, one game all year? Yeah, I don't give a damn who they got out there. They're gonna have 22 players that's want to play. They're on a level mindset. They're playing well. Broncos ain't gonna beat this team by 9.5. Hell no, no way. 23-21, last second field goal wins the game for them. 44 points. I'll take the Chiefs side on this deal, but the Broncos straight up. So I will take Chiefs and over. Keith, tell us why the Broncos going to win this by 9.5.
I got a lot. They're favored by 11 on CBS.
Oh, really? I had
Yeah,
9.5 right here.
That's what I think they'll win by, 27-16.
27-16. Wow. Keith is running with it, boys. 43. So Keith will take the Broncos. He's going over the total with it. Brian.
Yeah, Mahomes' new baby is not here yet. It's due this week or next week. So he may not go if the baby gets born here this week. So you're not going to see anybody that's hurt. No Chris Jones, like you said. I think they'll sit Trent McDuffie. I think they'll sit Xavier Worthy. Will probably not play. But that being said, though, Carson Wentz is going to start the game and probably play most of it. But they don't want to get Carson Wentz hurt either. So the offensive line's probably playing because they don't need him to get hurt. If they can play for a few quarters, then they'll probably bring in Oladokun, the third quarterback. But Kansas City, they need to find if DJ Humphries can hold down left tackle in the playoffs. And they still have some work to do in their defensive backfield before the playoffs. So that's their two concerns in this game. The score does not concern them. What happens that way does not concern them. But Denver will be there 100%. So I've got Denver winning 28-17.
28-17.
Denver.
That's 9 points. So Brian will take the Chiefs in the 9.5.
Oh, DeAndre Hopkins will play until he catches a touchdown. He's got a $500,000 bonus sitting on that. So they did that last year with Chris Jones. He needed one more sack in Week 18, and it took him the whole game to get that sack. So he actually played the whole game.
So Brian will take the Chiefs and go with the over.
Yeah, so D-Hop will probably play until he gets a touchdown.
Tim.
Lost your sentence.
Yeah.
Can't hear Tim.
No.
Thank you. Sorry, just like that overtime touchdown that Zach Ertz got him $750,000 for a number of catches, number of touchdown catches, and yards, I think it was.
Yeah.
For Washington.
With that thing. For Washington, yeah.
Yes.
You guys hopped around my score so well, but didn't quite get it. I have Denver 27, Kansas City 17.
27-17, 44 points. Tim will,
I was
so
1
Tim
point away, wasn't I?
would you say 27-17?
Yeah.
So you'll take the Broncos side of things. All right. And you will go with the over. All right. Final game of the week, folks. We got Sunday Night Football. We got the Minnesota Vikings going to Detroit to play the Lions. The Lions are 3-point favorites straight up this week, 52.5. I'll start us off, and I'll tell you what. I don't see why the Lions are favored. I'm sorry. I know the Lions have a vicious offense. They probably got a better offense than Minnesota by a little bit, but their defense is not near as good. Minnesota, number 1 seed this year, 29-28. Minnesota sews it up with a last-second field goal. I will take Minnesota, and I will go over that total. I'll take the 3 points. Keith.
Yeah. Detroit's at home, but I think the Vikings. I guess the Lions' defense is the injuries are still concerning me, even though they're still playing hard.
Four starters from opening day
Yeah.
are not playing this time.
They've only got 3 starters left, actually.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, Campbell and
Wow.
Branch and Joseph. That's the only ones left.
Okay.
Vikings,
They got guys. They got games you don't know their names
Yeah.
playing defense.
the no-name defense.
And hell, Niners almost beat them in Monday night. So, yeah.
Well, until Joseph intercepted those 2 passes.
So I do like the Vikings to win. Now it's the score. It could be high scoring. I think it'll be a little more moderate. I'll go 27-24 Vikings.
27-24. That's 51 points. So Keith will take the Vikings. He'll go actually under the total by a point and a half. Brian, have at it, bud.
Another touchdown on a trick play last week. Every week he's got a new trick play, and they work. So you got to figure that in.
Doesn't matter.
For Campbell. Detroit, they're going to be coming out in their vintage 50s look with a plain silver helmet and plain blue jersey. Detroit, as we said, they've only got 3 starters left on defense. 16 defensive injuries this year. And San Francisco was rolling along, pushing their defense until he threw 2 interceptions last week. But that offense, last 4 games, they've averaged 37.5 points per game. Jared Goff's 14 touchdowns, 1 interception, last 4 games. The offense is incredible. Minnesota has a defense. And I agree with you. Minnesota's offense is almost up there with Detroit. It's pretty close. Both teams, this is not like a game where the 2 teams know they're going to see each other in the playoffs, so they're going to hide things. No, both teams are going to play all out. Because the difference is 1 seed or 5 seed. That's a huge difference. So I got Minnesota eking out a 28-27 win over Detroit.
28-27. All right. That's 55. And Brian will take Vikings, and he'll go over the total. Tim.
Yeah, game 272 will be the one that decides the number 1 seed, and probably for the first time ever, a 14-win team having a chance to be a wild card. So
Isn't that great?
also, I believe that 28 wins is the most combined for a regular season game. And that might be what music plays after the game. We'll see. I mean, I do like Minnesota's defense, but boy, you can't argue with what Detroit's put up on offense. So I'm going to say this will be Detroit 35, Minnesota 30.
35-30. That is 65 points all day long. Tim's going to take the Lions, and he's going to go over the total. Michael.
That's how I think about this. Game 272. How many times can you find a game that's the last game of the regular season that's the game of the week? This is the game of the week. Not no Raider game, not no AFC Central game, not the Fish and Badgers. Who cares about them? This game is for the marbles. And the difference between a 1 and a 5 seed is that the 1 seed gets a home game in their ballpark every week, as long as they keep winning. The 5 seed, they got to go on the road. And that means if, say, Green Bay,
They get the AFC South winner would be what the 5 seed gets potentially.
Yeah, that means
Well, if along the way they have to play Green Bay, they'd get them at home. They'd get them at home.
Oh, but if they play,
they don't have to worry about going to Green Bay. No.
Wait a minute. You got a 1-2. 1's a dome. 2 maybe
Both of them
grass
don't.
field. It could be Tampa
2
Bay.
is the grass. Washington.
No.
Washington.
It's a grass field. So it's a big difference. And anyway, it's going to be Dan Campbell's going to find another trick play, and it's going to work again. He's probably thinking about it as we speak. I got to go. I know Donald's good, and he's playing well, and Jefferson and all that. I got to go with the Lions on this one. I'm going to go with them 28-20 Detroit.
28-20. That is 48 points. So Mike will take the Detroit Lions, and he will go under the total. All right. We still got locks to go. But guess what? Our locks from last week, if you went with them, we went undefeated, 6-0. And right now, for the season, how about this? 62-12
Wow.
is our locks for the year.
6 and 6. That's
Tim went with Miami. Yes. Harris went with the Chargers. Yes. Mike went with Tampa Bay. Yes. Keith went with Buffalo. Yes. Brian went with Baltimore. Yes. And yours truly, Rob, I went with Monday night's Detroit game. They made me sweat it out, but yes, they got it. And then we went 6-0. Let's go through the season here real quick. We went 3-2, 4-1, 4-1, 4-1, 5-1, 5-0, 3-0, 4-0. Then we had 1 week we went 3-3, 6-0, 5-1, 5-1, 5-1, 6-0. So the last 5 weeks we were on a tear. All right. So let's see. I don't have a dice on me. Somebody roll a dice. Who's got a dice on them?
Oh, I do.
All right.
Michael.
I'm 1, Keith's 2, Brian's 3, Mike's 4, and Tim is 5.
Okay.
Just roll it.
And
Roll it.
I'm gonna roll the bone. If I can turn it up, if I turn it right, I have one of those you can carry, you can travel with. The first number is a tree.
3. So that'll be Brian first. Keep on going there, Mike. Don't slow down.
I got another tree.
No, you don't want to.
How about a 5?
5. That'll be 10 second. Go. Keep going.
Come on, 5. 4.
That'll be you, Mike.
1.
And that'll be
I'll be
Rob. And that'll be Rob, and then that will be Keith. All right, Brian. This week, your lock. Who do you like, my friend?
I like Tampa Bay over New Orleans.
Tampa Bay. All right, Tim. Who do you like?
Well, for the 3rd consecutive week, I am picking against the Cleveland Browns. I will take the Baltimore Ravens.
Baltimore. All right. Michael.
Well, because he's done, and all I do is go, give me the fish, Miami.
Miami. Okay. Well, Keith's not going to end up with a bad pick along the way here, I don't think. Look, I got to go with Michael Penix Jr. this week. I just think they're really, really for real. I'll take Atlanta against the Panthers. Have at it, Keith.
I guess I'll go with the Green Bay Packers.
Green Bay.
Green Bay. I thought maybe you might do that. I thought if you didn't go with that, I thought maybe you'd go with the Texans. I didn't know.
That might be a closer game than you might think.
Chargers, Raiders, too. Chargers. Nobody took a Chargers.
I was thinking of taking, believe it or not, the Eagles.
Yeah. So, all right. A little different this week because now we know the toilet teams and we know the good teams. So, some of these teams we've talked about, we only gonna hold you like here a couple, 3 more minutes. Mayo, Gerard Mayo from New England. Thumbs up if he keeps his job. Thumbs down if you think he is going to lose his job. We can't see Mike. Wow. So Tim is the only one that says Mayo will stay at New England. All right. Who is interim coach at Chicago right now?
I think his name is
That could be a Jeopardy question.
Is there a chance he's staying there going to be the regular
No.
coach, or they go hire a new coach?
No.
They're going to hire
Thomas
okay.
Brown.
yeah.
No.
All right. Okay. Now, how about this one? Mike McDaniel, Miami coach.
I'm thinking.
I think he'll be back.
Think so. Wow, Tim's going down. Me and Tim says down, 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 down. All right. Let's see. If you got an idea, come throw it out there. Shoot it out there at us.
Well,
I got
have
an
we all
idea. Do you
McCarthy?
think my coach Frank?
Mike McCarthy, without a contract right now, but he could be re-signed. Mike McCarthy, Dallas. Everybody says he's gone.
Antonio Pierce.
I guess we all probably said
Antonio Pierce in Vegas.
Vegas, he's done. He's done.
All right.
Because Tom's gonna.
I got another name to throw out there. Brian
All right.
Dable for the Giants.
Brian Daboll of the Giants.
I don't know. I'm
All
still,
right. I'm going to shoot one at you that you're not even going to believe I'm shooting out at you
I
right
believe
now.
anything.
Will he be back next year? Mike Tomlin of the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Steelers do not fire coaches.
I think he's going to resign. I think he is done. I do. I think he will quit.
Well, while we're in that,
Here's one for you.
All right, go for it.
If Andy Reid wins the third straight Super Bowl, does he sail off into the sunset?
Does he retire? Let's see.
Nah.
So hold on. So a thumbs up means he's retiring, or thumbs down means he's retiring?
Thumbs down means he's retiring.
Okay, no.
Thumbs up.
The reason I think he'll stay.
I think he'll go. Is he 70 years old yet?
Yeah, he'll be 70 next year.
All right, I'll say this will be it for him if he wins. If he wins it all. Okay.
Cleveland Browns.
Kevin Stefanski.
He's done.
Tim says he stays.
I think he's.
Why would he stay?
I think he's gone too.
Why would he stay when he has the groper?
Well, you know what? He may not have a choice, but
wasn't his fault.
How about this one? Cincinnati's head coach.
Yeah, that's what I was just looking up.
Yeah.
Zach Taylor. Yeah, I think he's done.
I think he's done too. Oh, Tim likes him as well. All right, let's see who else.
The Saints probably won't hang on to their interim.
No. Saints are probably gone.
Doug Peterson.
Indianapolis. Indianapolis Colts head coach who's he's only been there a year, right?
I think he stays.
I think
he's okay.
I think he will.
But Peterson.
Doug Peterson in Jacksonville.
He's been fired for a while.
Tony Khan's got to take over.
Brian says he thinks he stays.
I think Tony Khan should take over the team.
Let's see who else.
Head coach on a first year coach, so he won't go anywhere.
Houston Texans coach. Now I realize they made the playoffs this year, but are they happy with the way he did? Up or no?
2 years in the playoffs. So. Yeah.
I think he stays in too. I think he stays. Who's the Jets head coach right this moment?
An interim coach or defensive coach.
Okay, so
you don't have to.
They're already interviewing for him. The Jets coach is history.
All right. How about this one? This one's out to you, Mr. Harris Jessup. John Harbaugh. Does he stay or does he go?
He stays.
I think he's on the steadiest ground of virtually any quarterback, any coach.
Who's the Panthers coach?
The Panthers. He's a first year guy too. They just brought in.
Yeah. So
How about this one? Shanahan with the 49ers.
I've heard him being linked even with the Bears, so I think he might. I think it could go either way, but I kind of have a feeling
he's gone. I think he's gone. I'm not going to say he's going to get fired, but I'm going to say he's gone.
I think it's kind of going to be up to him. I think they'll welcome him back.
Yeah, I agree.
I think they'll have a
But
conversation, and I think he's going to probably say something to the effect that he's not really committed to staying there long term. So I think
how about
they'll
this one?
usually agree
We've heard nothing out.
depart.
We've heard nothing out of this guy for the whole year, except they just pretty well played. Denver's head coach,
Sean
Sean-
Payton.
Sean
Oh,
Payton.
he's staying.
Payton
Sean
staying.
Payton.
Yeah, I'd be
Payton.
I think he'll stay, but
He's-
he always likes to go where the grass is the greenest.
I know.
He'll jump turf
Yeah,
in a
he
heartbeat.
stayed in New Orleans a long time.
He'll jump turf though if he gets a chance here. I really think if he were offered the 49ers job, I think he'd jump for it. I really do. I think that's a job he's always wanted.
You want to know what's even going to be better? I would like to be at Super Bowl week. The people that have to go with the 15 Hall of Famers. Who's going to get in? They say it is going to be major debating going on with these players because a lot of them are very well familiar. And I know who's number one on the hit list, Eli. We don't know if there's going to be so much debating about each of these players, from Steve Smith to Eli Manning to even Adam Vinatieri. They're going to debate to see who's going to get in.
Arizona State 3, Texas
3
nothing.
3-0 over Texas already. Arizona State
Texas won the toss and deferred.
49-yard field goal.
39-yard field goal. 9 minutes left to go in the first quarter, and they are up.
And indoors.
3-0 right now. They're playing in where the hell are they playing now?
Atlanta, the Chick-fil-A.
Oh yeah, they play in Atlanta. They play in the Peach Bowl. That's right.
Do you guys think that there's going to be any changes to the playoff format next year, or do you think they're going
I
to?
do.
Yeah, the seating.
I do. I think the seeding will be totally different. This is what I think happens. You tell me whether you agree. I think just because you are a conference champion, it's not going to give you a bye. I think the top 4 ranked teams, 1, 3, 5, 7, wherever they're at, I think they're going to be the bye teams, and then no automatic home game or anything if you win the ACC, if you win the Big 12, whatever. I think that. What do you think, Brian?
Well, I agree. I think it's a change they need to make.
Yeah, I think they got to do it because, especially after last night's debacle, but Boise State they couldn't play with those guys.
And
Wilson-
again, this transfer
Huh?
portal is still in chaos. They need
Yeah,
to
transfer
really
portal
this more.
needs to be frozen until February 1.
Yeah.
I agree wholeheartedly. They got it right. Alabama loses yesterday. Michigan wins. So they showed there that they didn't miss there.
Yeah.
South Carolina loses. Illinois wins. So, and then a big fight after the game.
I heard about that.
Yeah.
Brett Bielema decided to flip the bird for some reason to
other
Shane.
South Carolina's coach.
Huh?
Oh, that's what that meme was.
To
Okay.
the South Carolina coach Shane
Beamer.
Beamer. And Beamer in his press conference said he does not want to come visit me between now and the next time we play. Because he said I'm meeting him with a fist if he does. That's just the way he put it. Now these two teams, to me, should be put on notice by the NCAA. They got to quit putting up with this bullshit. It's not just we're seeing now. It's not just players. It's coaches. It's attitudes all the way across the board. If they don't do something, somebody's going to get seriously hurt, and somebody's going to end up really, really getting hurt, especially with all these crowds. Go for it, Keith.
something somebody touched on earlier or mentioned, when it comes to the money that players are getting, is that something is there going to be a fight as to whether the players get the reduction in that for not playing in the bowl games, not playing in the
right now, Florida State has got themselves a lawsuit.
Now, Miami's quarterback, he stepped out after the first half.
And it was all set up.
Cam Ward did. But 11 Florida State players are suing the coach, the direct coach of Florida State. Now, they're saying we were promised this, we were promised this. It's going to come down to paperwork. It's going to come down to real paperwork, whether Coach A promised player A $5 million, $7 million, $8 million. I heard a good joke the other day. Bill Murray was playing golf and said something about. He said it's going to be a shame some of these players leaving college. They can't hardly afford to take the pay cut that they're going to be taking. And think about it. Yeah, they're down to the 20-yard line.
You mentioned Shedeur earlier.
Think about this. If they did make the money that was publicized this year, Shedeur Sanders, $8 million. Their receiver, $6.5 million. They are not the number one player in the draft. Will not make $6.5 million his first year. He does not do it. Touchdown, Texas. So now it is now 6-3, and this is going to be first to 50, I think. But
another one.
I think they've opened a Pandora's box that they wish they never would have. That's my opinion. How in the hell do you stop this? How do you stop it? I don't know. Otherwise, the NFL is going to have to open its locks and be like, okay, we're not going to have a payroll block. We're not going to have a salary cap. They're almost going to have to do that because can you imagine a player saying, I'm going to stay in for 4 years? Because they can retire when they're 22. That's what you're in college for. You're in college to learn how to make money. And can you imagine if you were going to the University of Virginia, let's say, and they just decided, well, we think you're a good quarterback. We'll pay you $5 million. And you're 18 years old. And you get out there and you play, you stay healthy and all. You decide, I'm coming back again next year. I got a girlfriend. I'm making $5 million. Stay there. Stay there and stay there. You've been there 4 years and you make $20 million. What the hell can the NFL do to sway that? Other than you drop a cap, and then all hell will break loose. You're gonna be paying players for their league minimum. I mean, the first overall picks will be making $70, $75, $80 million.
The quarterbacks that a team like Florida has had that could probably make a lot of money that now, in Danny Werfel or Tim Tebow or was it Leak or whatever, they could probably make a lot of money in college, but they didn't have what it took to play really in the NFL. I mean, it's just they could get their money in college, play in the game, and get a degree and get out and still make money.
The Oregon quarterback, exactly. The Oregon quarterback, who's better? The Oregon quarterback's 5'9". He's not going to be a top five. He's not going to go in the first 5 rounds. He's 5'8", 5'9", but he's leading the team undefeated. So it's no telling what kind of money he's probably making out there in Oregon doing that. And chances are he will never step foot on an NFL field. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
You
might have guys staying in college is what I'm getting at.
To answer Keith's question, though, this lawsuit may have something to say about that because the Florida State coach said he didn't pay them because they walked out of practice.
Yeah, so they walked off.
This may have something to do with players who don't finish out their bowl games.
Cam Ward.
But
Ward.
then the players might want to have that written in the contract. They don't have to play in a bowl game, or they're going to transfer to.
Then you have players unionizing.
Yeah.
Dartmouth came this close, the basketball team, and they decided yesterday not to, but that's next on the horizon, players unionizing in the colleges.
How do you guys feel about Cam Ward setting the second half of a game?
Doesn't show
it was all set up. The coaches knew.
I understand he set it up with the coaches, but what I'm saying is, let's say you were the coach. Would you have let him play a half?
I wouldn't have let him play.
I wouldn't either.
I wouldn't either. I wouldn't have let. You would have either been dressing for me or not dressing for me. One of the two. I wouldn't let him play. How about you, Brian? Would you let him play a half for you, Brian? Would you let him play half a game?
I would leave it up to the player probably, and that's kind of Missouri. Like Missouri's bowl game, Luther Burden didn't play, their top receiver, and he talked about finishing strong and not throwing your year away by not playing in a bowl game. Still, Luther Burden didn't play, but everybody else did play for Missouri.
But does every player get a check in college football?
No.
If there was a union,
there's wide disparity. Yeah.
Well, I mean, if there was a union, wouldn't they have to get paid?
Dartmouth tried to form a union. Players at the University of Dartmouth tried to form a union. Didn't work.
Because otherwise, if you had players that weren't getting paid, they would still want to play.
And you're right, Keith. And I think Colorado is a perfect example of this. They've got 4 receivers, all that were making millions of dollars, and a quarterback, and a couple of defensive backs. That tells me right there, if I'm, let's say I'm a 4-star recruit, and I'm 350, and I'm a defensive tackle, why the hell do I want to go to Colorado? All I'm going to be doing here we're back. All you're going to be doing is helping out these jabronis that are the skilled positions. And we're going to find out real quick. I think Colorado is going to take a nosedive next year. This year they won, 8 games, 9 games, whatever they won. I think next year they'll win 4 or 5 games tops. Because if they're willing just to pay the skill position, you're going to lose out on a lot of these 3, 4, and 5-star recruits that are centers, that are guards, that are tackles, that you're not out here throwing the money at like you are the big time stars. And big time stars can't be big time stars if they're not protected. I don't care who you are. You better have an offensive line if you're going to have a chance in hell. That's my soapbox right there.
Yeah, same thing happens in the pros. Joe Burrow said that he doesn't want to play on a team where he's the only one that's getting paid. He said that yesterday. He wants to play on a team.
And now it's 14-3. That quick. 14-3.
The punt return touchdown, I think.
They ran a punt back.
Punt return touchdown.
They ran a punt back. Yep.
Well, let's wrap this up so we can watch
13-3.
This game's over.
All right.
This game. Stick a fork.
Happy New Year, everybody. Take care.
Stick the pitchfork in. Happy New Year, guys. Hope you all enjoy the rest of the playoff games. We will be back here next Wednesday, hopefully in the PM time. If it works out for me, if it doesn't, I will have to have Keith do it. Looks like I'm going to start a job here soon, so we'll see what happens. You all have a great evening. God bless, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.